All right, today we're going to talk about camping stove equipment and why I switched from this Jetboil, which I've been carrying for the past 8 or 9 years, to the MSR Pocket Rocket Deluxe, which I just picked up this camping season. Talk about the cook systems that I've used and why I have the ones that I have, as well as there's some alternatives depending on how much money you want to spend. And we'll try and give you a good brief overview of the costs, and we'll even do a test to see how well everything works. So let's get started. So if this is something you're interested in, please stick around for the video. So the big factors for me in making my decision to move from a Jetboil to the MSR Pocket Rocket Deluxe was size and weight, and we'll go through all of that here in just a second. So I also have added, because this is a contained system, and this is just a stove, we have to have other pieces. So I have a couple examples of some pots that I've used and why I have settled on it, ultimately the one that I picked. So let's get into the Jetboil first. So this is a tried and true method of heating water and or food, and this is how it comes. So you have a top lid that's made out of siliconized rubber. You have a fuel canister stand. You'll have the actual stove part itself, the vessel, and then you have a small cup. So together, excluding the canister, because the canister, you know, this is going to weigh what it weighs. So brand new, these 100-ounce isobutane or 100-gram isobutane canisters, they weigh about 7 ounces. So we factor in 7 ounces for every stove that you carry. If you get the bigger ones and you carry these either in your cook set or separately, these weigh about 13.5 ounces when they're full. So we're not weighing this with the fuel because it just depends on which fuel you choose. So I just have a simple basic scale, and this weighs 15.2 ounces, and that is the container and all of the pieces, just how you would carry it in your backpack. The beauty of this, as well as one of the totes container that I have down there, is that the isobutane canister slides right down in the bottom of it, and so you have a complete storage unit with your fuel. And how this works to set it up is it's pretty simple. You basically flip out the valve, screw it on. You'll hear a little release of fuel as the valve hits. Now you have a nice stand, and then basically the vessel sits just like that. And it's as easy as that. And then when you're done, you just spin it off, flip off the valve, break that down, and then everything just slides right back into the canister. All right, the next one is the MSR Pocket Rocket 2 Deluxe. And the beauty of this stove is it has its own igniter. The Pocket Rocket itself doesn't have an igniter on it, so I had the Deluxe that has a piezo igniter on it. The Jetboil also has a piezo igniter. And there are a couple ways that you can use this. So because this is just a stove by itself, you have to have something to heat your water in. I'm choosing to use the Toaks 750 milliliter pot that has handles and a lid. The handles are super important because titanium gets really hot really fast, and you will burn the crap out of your hands if you don't use this. The nice thing about the Jetboil is it has this nice neoprene rubber piece, and it's got a little handle to help you when it's hot. The other thing that's nice about this is that you have a nice cool indicator. I'll show you how that works. But so if we nest this together, put that on there. And that's 6.5 ounces. So this is 15 and some change, and this is 6. So you've more than cut it in half, and look at the difference in the size. Now, if you're going to be out and about and you're worried about fuel and you want to carry a larger container, you also have, this is the Toke's 1100 milliliter set, and this one actually has a small skillet, but I use it as a top. They make this in a version that looks just like this, but this one fits the bigger 230 gram canister. So you set your stove right on top of that, and you have a nice compact set. So it's not a whole lot of difference between that and that. The biggest thing primarily is that if we were just to weigh the stove and the pot, again, this is 8 ounces, so just a couple ounces more than this with the stove in it, but still half the weight of that. This does add a little bit of bulk to your setup, but it is another option. And if you're wanting to stay with something a little bit cheaper, so the Jetboil as it's on the market today, this thing cost $124. This is $29 on Amazon. This one is $48 on Amazon. The Pocket Rocket Deluxe is $84. So when you look at the cost of this package and this, they're about the same in price. You're going to save about 20 bucks on this setup versus that. But if you go up to this bigger pot, you're going to spend the same amount of money. But remember, you're shaving weight and you're shaving size. Now another option that I've used before, now Stanley makes this Adventure Series pot. It's also 700 and some ounces and some change. The beauty of this though, it's made out of stainless steel. It is a bit heavier, but it's only $17. So if this is something, and it will fit an isobutane cartridge. So this will also fit that 100 gram cartridge all the way in the bottom, and then you can just put your stove right on the top. If you want to choose this route, oh, we should put the stove in there. If you want to go with that route, it weighs 10 ounces. 10.7 ounces. So this is far cheaper than this. And the weight savings is still considerable. So you're saving 5 ounces on this setup. But if you spend an extra $15, you're going to save another 4 ounces. So you've gotten rid of about 6 or 7 ounces of weight just in your cook system by itself. Now I'm going to go get some. I'm going to get some water, and we're going to actually do a time test for boiling. All right, so that is water straight out of the tap. They're the same glasses, so the same style and setup, and we're going to just see how long it takes to boil some water. We'll set the Jetboil up first. Pour this in. So you can see the indicator. So basically on this stove, you open this valve. On this side there's a little push button, and that's the piezo igniter. So I'm going to put the top on it and get the stopwatch ready. You'll hear the fuel come out. And we just wait. All right. So that was 2 minutes, 9 seconds to boil 14 ounces of water. So I just measured the glass and then what was in the water. So that's 14 ounces of water in 2 minutes 9 seconds. So we'll set that over there. So one of the things that the Jetboil claims is they're a super efficient way of boiling water, simply because the flame goes into the bottom of that pot ring, the reluctor ring, and it contains all of the heat in here, and that evenly heats all the water. So you end up boiling your water faster for your meal, which means that you're using less fuel, which means your canisters are going to last longer, and you don't have to wait as long. So the Pocket Rocket 2 Deluxe, let's reset that, is pretty simple. It's got 3 little wings on it that hold the pot, and basically you pull up and twist, up and twist. You do the same deal with that. You undo the thing for the valve. We're just going to leave this on its container. Alright, so this thing is the same way. It's got a piezo igniter. You turn the valve counterclockwise to open it up, and then you just have a little igniter. So we'll take that, put it there. We'll pour the same amount of water in. We'll put the top on, and we're going to lift this up so that we have the ability to check it. So you can see that the flame on this comes out around the bottom of the pot, but in the wind, that may create a whole bunch of, I found it camping if it's windy, sometimes the flame can get blown off the bottom of it, and it can cause some trouble. So like, you have no indicator on this except for once it starts steaming, and typically the pot will start shaking a little bit when the water boils. So we'll see how that goes. Whew. That's hot. So one of the downsides to this is the fact that the titanium gets so hot that you can't touch it. They make some stuff that can help you with that, but also the heat that wraps around that pot sometimes can get it around. But it's the same 2 minutes and 10 seconds to boil the same 14 ounces of water. Now, I know that I tried to get the flame to be about the same on both one and the other, but the fact is they boil water pretty quick. The one downside again to the Pocket Rocket is that it is affected by wind. So if it's windy where you're at, or if it's cold, there's going to be less heat conducted straight into the pot versus this system where it uses kind of a reluctor ring to kind of help evenly heat all the water. So with that being said, this is a tried and true method. They work really good. The only reason why I switched away from them is simply because I could get away with half of the weight, and it's basically half the size. So depending on how you camp and what your ultimate goal is, either one of these stoves will work very well for you. And but if you're looking to shave a few ounces, the MSR Pocket Rocket Deluxe is a great addition, and you don't have to carry a lighter with you because it has a piezo lighter, and they are truly foolproof. Like I said, I've had this thing for 8 years, and I've never had to worry about this thing starting or not starting. So the igniter has worked every single time. I know that they can fail. I do carry a backup in case I have to. But because I'm prepared, you know, I've never had the piezo igniter fail on one of these, and I don't expect that I'll have an issue with this one as well. But I do carry a igniter with me. So this is an MSR piezo igniter that I can light this flame in case for some reason this piece goes bad. A lot of people carry the small lighters. And there are a very myriad of stoves, small ultra lightweight stoves that are set up the same way that might be able to shave a few more ounces. But this is truly the best compact system for your camping needs. So hope you guys got something from the video. Again, they're both great products. The only difference is that this is about half the weight and half the size. Thanks for watching. Give me a thumbs up if you liked what we had. Leave me a comment. I get back to you as soon as I practically can. And I appreciate you all watching. We'll see you next time.